Hello and welcome to another video that we're going to be taking a topic, cutting down through it and explaining what the conditions for certain things are. Specifically right now, we're going to be looking at the conditions for our love to be shown to God and how our love is shown to God. So, what we're going to start with is we're going to go down through these verses and we're going to take note of what each one is saying, okay? What each one is going to be telling us. So first, we're going to be looking at Exodus chapter 20 and verse 3 and 4. Exodus chapter 20, or not 3 and 4, 3 through 6. And we're going to take some notes as far as this goes. Starting in verse 3, in Exodus chapter 20, we have the 10 Commandments being given to Israel. And it's really important for us to make sure that we pay attention to verse 6 while taking note of what he's telling them that they can and cannot do, or what they can't do, as the commandments say. So, starting in verse 3, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto, or to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me." Here's our point right here. "And showing mercy." The mercy is shown, but to whom? "Unto thousands of them that love me." Well, how do they love you? "And keep my commandments." If we love God, we're going to keep his commandments. Deuteronomy. There's quite a few of these that we're going to go through, so we're going to try to hit these as quick as we can. Deuteronomy chapter 5, and we're going to be reading verses 8 through 10. Deuteronomy 5 and verses 8 through 10. Specifically verse 10, he says, "Thou shalt not make thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water beneath the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord God, thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments." The mercy is shown to those who love God and keep his commandments. That's how we show love to God. We keep his commandments. Deuteronomy chapter 7. Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verses 9 through 11. Deuteronomy 7, 9 through 11. "Knowing therefore that the Lord thy God, he is God, the faithful God, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments, to 1,000 generations." We're going to stop right there. Well, no, we're not. He said, "And repayeth them that hate him unto their face, to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hateth him, he will repay him to his face. Thou shalt therefore keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, which I command thee this day to do them." So, what pattern are we seeing here? If we love God, we keep his commandments. We keep his commandments, we show our love to God, we have his mercy. Deuteronomy chapter 10. Deuteronomy chapter 10. And verses 12 through 13. 12 through 13 says, "And now, Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee, but to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good?" What other thing is there but to serve God and keep his commandments? That's how we show our love to God. Chapter 11, verse 1. In chapter 11, verse 1. Therefore thou shalt love the Lord thy God, and keep his charge, and his statutes, and his judgments, and his commandments always. Loving God is shown by keeping his commandments. Now I know this is a lot of repeating, but the point is shown time after time after time in the scriptures. Verses 13 and 14. It shall come to pass, if ye shall hearken diligently unto my commandments, which I command you this day, to love the Lord your God, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul, that I will give you the rain of your land in his due season, the first rain and the latter rain, that thou mayest gather in thy corn and thy wine and thine oil. If they love God, if they keep his commandments, they will be blessed. That's all we're talking about here. That's all that's being said. Verses 22 through 23. 22 and 23. For if ye shall diligently keep all these commandments which I have commanded you, or which I command you, to do them, to love the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways, and to cleave unto him, then will the Lord drive out all these nations from before you, and ye shall possess greater nations and mightier than yourselves. The same sort of thing. Verse 19, or chapter 19, chapter 19 and verses 8 and 9. If thou shalt keep all these commandments and do them which I command thee this day, to love the Lord thy God, and to walk ever in his ways, thou shalt add 3 cities more for thee beside these 3. We're going to stop there. We're not stop there, We're going to jump to chapter 30 and verse 16. Chapter 30 and verse 16. And we're going to see that in that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, and that thou mayest live and multiply. And the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it. The same sort of thing. If we love God, we're going to keep his commandments. If we want mercy, if we want the blessing, we keep his commandments. So with the thought of keeping his commandments, let's go to Joshua chapter 22. Joshua chapter 22. We just got done with Deuteronomy chapter 30. Let's go to Joshua chapter 22 and verse 5. If I can get my pages turned. 22 and verse 5, where he says, But take diligent heed to do the commandment and the law which Moses the servant of God, or of the Lord, charged you, to love the Lord your God, and to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments, and to cleave unto him, and to serve him with all of your heart and all of your soul. The same sort of thing. Keep his commandments. And the thing is, we're showing our love to God. That was the top thing. To love your God and to walk in his ways. To keep his commandments. That's what we're supposed to do. And we're not just going to stop here. We have verses that say the similar thing in Daniel chapter 9 and verse 4, Nehemiah chapter 1 verses 5 and 6, John. Let's jump over to John really quickly, and we'll end it with these next couple of verses. John chapter 14 and verse 15. John chapter 14 and verse 15, where he says, If you love me, keep my commandments. And let's look at verse 21. He that hath my commandments and keepeth them, he it is that loveth me, and he that loveth me shall be loved of my Father, and I will love him, and will manifest myself to Him. The important thing that we have seen throughout these scriptures is the connection between the love and keeping His commandments. They go hand in hand. You cannot have you cannot show the love to God without keeping the commandments that God has told us to keep. It's impossible. We also have 1 John 5, 2 and 3, and 2 John 1 and verse 6. But are we seeing the point here? To show our love to God. We can say that we love God, but do we do what He says? That's the important thing. Do we do what He tells us to do? Thank you so much for tuning in to this video, and we would like to invite you to church at the Burns Flat Church of Christ. We have our morning service starting with Bible class at 9:45 a.m. on Sunday, and we'll have lunch right after that and have the afternoon service. And then Wednesday we also have Bible class at 7 p.m. So thank you so much, and we hope to see you there. May God bless you.